7 o'clock, I'll call the Board of Aldermen meeting to order. Roll call, please, Heather.
Alderman Foreman.
Yes.
Alderman Lane.
Here.
Alderman Macklin.
Here.
Alderman Mora.
Here.
Alderman Ward. Alderman Wilkins.
All right, we have a quorum tonight. Official business can take place. Please join in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. You'll have a chance to read through the prior meeting minutes and all that. Consent agenda.
One may mention the purpose of including the April planning and zoning minutes was there were some edits made at the last planning and zoning meeting, and so these are revised from the ones previously seen by the board.
Any questions or comments over the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Accounts payable over $1,250.
Make a motion to approve the accounts payable over 12/15, the amount of $287,806.36.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve accounts payable over $1,250 in the amount of $287,806.36. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, comments from citizens. I'd like to open the floor for comments from citizens. If you have a comment, I ask that you stand and state your name and address for the record and make your comment. Okay.
My name's Carol Buck, and I live at 815 South Central Avenue, and we moved there 12 years ago. The first year when we had our house built, it was a nice road. We weren't there a year till it started going to pot, and it's for about 11 and a half years we've had a terrible road. And we're proud of what's being done, but we want more.
Okay.
Frank Buck, same address.
Okay.
For now, anyway. Anyway, like she said, I realized, did some work out there, and we appreciate that. Have they stopped on that now, or there's other places that were marked off to be cut out and redone? But are they finished with it now as far as they're going to go, or are they going to come back and take out some more really bad spots?
All the spots out there will still be done this year. The same crew that works on roads also collects trash and debris after storms. So one of the projects they're working on right now is removing debris. They were out clearing the roads after the recent storms. They will be getting back to that road, which is, as you said, we've done some patches there before. We've discovered that the road was built at about 3 inches in depth at some places. The original developer who put it in did not follow the rules and was not caught. This is a problem that is to avoid it requires some expenses. You have to hire, you either have to hire staff or a firm to test the pours of concrete and the depth and that sort of thing, because there are, once in a while, people who, for whatever reason, whether it was lack of skill or whatever, didn't put in an adequate road. And the city on our part didn't catch it. So now we're playing makeup. Before we can do any kind of, there are other problems with the road which probably are not going to be able to be addressed. The grade of the road was not put in particularly well, which means that obviously when the water falls, it doesn't run off the way it's supposed to. At the back of the where the road ends in a cul-de-sac, there's a storm drain that is not installed as designed. There were a number of errors made. So even if our plan was to try and take out some of these sections which we found between 3 and 5 inches in depth and replace them with a full 6-inch concrete slab. Of course, when you put a piece and a piece and a piece together, it's not as good as putting in a full road all at once, but it should work. The idea would then be to come back and look at using putting some sort of geotextile fiber and then overlaying it to have one kind of seal over it, yeah, with tapered edges to try and help get the water at least toward the edge of the road. But the water's not going to run uphill, and it's not going to run where it's flat. And the only way to fix that would be to tear the entire road out and repair and rebuild it, which would put off a lot of other projects in areas that are much more heavily trafficked.
Would it be feasible to put any more drains in? More than 2 drains up there?
There should be more. There should have been more drop inlets, and I don't know how it was. I mean, as you said, this road was built, what, 2003, something around there?
Yeah.
So, the original design, I can't remember how many were designed in it, but there should be a couple more at least. If to put in a drain right now, if we don't have an easement, we'd have to acquire easements, we'd have to make, and obviously, as you all know, water runs downhill. We have to find somewhere to slope it to. I'm not saying it's impossible that's putting in more inlets is, I don't know. I'd have to look at it. I'm not going to engineer it from here, especially since I'm not an engineer, but that would be difficult to do.
But
We're
you
going to fix the problem we
understand,
can fix.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You understand where we're coming from. We have nice houses and they just have a road like that, and and we've already put up with it for 11 years. It's just, and we could have built in a place that was really good roads, but we thought this would be too, and we're very disappointed in all the things that the road is just bad. Landon looked at it all night.
We're aware that, I mean, we've done patches out there before. This isn't the first time we've been out there to fix stuff.
So it's never gonna look nice, it's just gonna.
Well, I mean, it would look nicer, but I don't know that the one problem that's gonna be difficult to take care of is the stormwater drainage. Because, again, if the grade on the road was not steep enough to drain water properly.
Water sits in front of my house and your house.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So we can look at that, but and Phil and I have looked at it not with, full engineering study or anything like that, but that would be, I'd say, possible but difficult. In terms of getting the road surface to look better, in a couple of years we should make some good improvements. This year, it's also been a difficult year to pour concrete because there's been record amounts of rain. So it's,
And they're calling for record amount of rain for the month of July also. So,
Yeah, I understand that. I've been in construction for 40 years, yeah.
yeah.
Well, my name's Denise Graves, and I live across the street from Cindy, and my address is 822 South Central. And I'm the last house built, so that was, I moved there 9 years ago. We built that house on 2 lots. But anyway, I was gone with my family. I left on Monday, and they were working on my street, or started working on the street then. And so I didn't know that they hit the gas line until I got home. And my son-in-law brought me home and lives in Springfield. Anyway, he said, Mom, you don't have any hot water. So he tried to light the pilot light and just tried over and over. But fortunately, and I can't remember the man's name that came from Ameren, but he left this note with a kind of tacky side to it on my mailbox because he didn't know where else to leave it. And so anyway, he had said that, he said, well, I figured you'd been gone because I've come back every day to talk to you. And my son-in-law said, well, do you want me to go ahead and light the pilot light? And he said, no, no, no. He said, and of course, Mark knew that. But anyway, so he said, and it was 10 o'clock Friday night. And he said, do you want me to come out now? And he said, either now or in the morning. And I said, oh, just in the morning. He said, I'll be there between 8 and 10, and he was there at 8 o'clock. And did that, and then I have a fireplace, and I said, what about that? And so he lit the pilot light on it. And I was always under the opinion that mine keeps lit during the summer, and he said it should. So I learned something new with that. But I think he said that gas line was about that close. Aren't they supposed to check before they dig?
Yep, they should call dig right before they,
Did you know that he hit that line?
I was not aware of that.
the city hit the line while drilling in the street.
Why?
'Cause there's somebody else
using
hit
that
the-
saw or digging?
Somebody else had hit a gas line at the end of the cul-de-sac, I know. I'm not,
Well, I'm on the curve.
Oh, that may have been Dexter.
The building down there.
that's possible. We always do check with dig right, whether, and so, usually when you're removing concrete,
Uh-huh.
you're not going, what's the typical depth for a gas line? I think it's about,
But he said
Yeah,
it was
probably.
about like
Should be 12 to 18, should be 18 inches or
I was
1
gonna
inch.
say.
Yeah, or 2 foot.
So that you usually, when doing sidewalk work and street work, you don't usually hit gas line if it's at the proper depth. But I'll check into seeing if we hit the gas line, see if we didn't follow protocol. Because
We were just amazed that that note that he left on tacky stuff on with the storm you had, I wasn't home then. And he said, I'm amazed that it's stayed there.
Wow.
So,
Well, evidently, last time I saw the gas line, it was kind of curved up in the air like this. What did they do, just stomp it down and pour concrete over it?
I don't know.
They surely didn't dig 18 inches and put it down that low. I'd assume they just flattened it out in the mud and poured concrete right over it. So we're doing the same thing.
my ground is a little bit higher than the other houses, but you would think there'd be more room than that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was amazed that the gas line was a little old plastic.
most gas lines are plastic now. In fact, it's preferred
Doesn't
to
look like
not
any
to
bigger
line.
than a thumb, is that?
Wow.
It's pretty small to carry all the houses out there.
I don't know, do you? No.
I don't know.
But anyway, we just keep covered, dig up more than it seems like.
But you want us to proceed with the project, right?
Right, oh,
Yeah.
sure. Or we can go.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I can tell you, I'm aware of what's going on out there. I shot graves on, in front of, can't remember the lady's name, lived right behind Jenny's Elders.
That's me.
Okay, and I shot grades on that
I
one
met you
point,
once, Don,
yes.
you came out.
And the grade was almost dead level across 2 lots, which should not have been the case. So the street was not put in properly, it was not put into the proper grades. That makes it impossible, almost impossible, to take care of storm drainage at this point, without rebuilding the street. I mean, just tearing it out and redoing it completely. Second thing is that I've been out there and, with Phil, and took some pictures of the depth of the concrete that was out there that he uncovered. And it's supposed to be 6 inches thick, and it's anywhere from 2.5 inches to not quite 6 inches. So the developer did not do his job either in putting it into the proper grades, nor did he put in enough concrete. So the developer is at fault on this. The city accepted the project because it didn't appear to have any problems within a year. I'm wondering if we can't go after the developer for fraud. Because it was a fraudulent job that he's required to meet city standards, and he did not do so.
Was that survey done?
It was surveyed and,
When it was put in?
well, I'm assuming it was. I don't know, but I know the engineer that was involved. I'm assuming that he staked it, but I don't know for sure. But if he did stake it, the developer did not follow the stakes.
At one time,
And part of the problem is, as the road breaks up, the more water seeps into the subgrade.
Yeah.
Well, that makes the subgrade deteriorate faster, and then start, it's kind of a cascading effect. So we can take care of some of that by digging it out and putting it in the proper, amount of concrete. However, the grades don't let the water get off of there the way it should, and it's always going to be a problem until that is completely rebuilt. I mean, it's concrete streets, you can't just go in there and jack up the curbs in the street and get the grades. You
Yeah,
have to
but
tear
we
it out
kinda
and redo
hate
it.
to have a patch-up job too. We want a good street. We deserve a good street.
And there's about two and a half, or almost 3 houses that are on the market to
Yeah.
sell.
Nobody wants to live there on that street.
Well, you might have more recourse against the developer than what the city does. And I don't know whether we can sue him or not.
Well, he didn't build my house.
No, not for the house, for the street.
He's on the road now.
Yeah.
One.
But, he represented what he was doing, and you should have got what you got. The city was not doing inspections on most of that stuff at that time. The other developers were doing a decent job. We had not had problems with the other streets nearly to the extent of what this one is. And so it's pretty obvious the developer, and when Phil got out there and started breaking this out and finding out how little the thickness on the concrete was,
Right.
it's very obvious the developer did not do his job properly.
And it's not just in one spot.
No, it's not just in one spot.
Different spots.
and even the curbs are breaking up.
Yeah.
And a few years ago, when we had a hard rain, the crown in the cul-de-sac was about an inch underwater. Even the crown, the highest point,
Right.
was underwater.
Yeah.
Well, and
The drain.
from what I understand, the drain that goes out of the culvert, the cul-de-sac, is not put in properly either. So he didn't do the storm sewers right, he didn't do the drains right, and he didn't get the street to the proper thickness. So you guys might be able to, and you can go after him for a class action lawsuit possibly, I don't know. I don't know what our options are.
The problem is the city accepted it.
Yes, the city accepted it because it did not appear to have any problems within the first year. But then it wasn't until after that that most of the houses were built.
Well, evidently had a problem before that because he had to tear out a bunch of it and replace it. So it had to have had a problem before the end of the year.
Well, I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, yeah, he had tons and tons of concrete tore out and piled them all on one lot. And then had a pile of concrete over there and weeds growing out of it. And finally he moved all that and hauled it all off. But he had already tore out a bunch of it and replaced it because it was bad then.
Well, he should have done a whole lot more.
Well,
I didn't
somebody
tell
should
my
have.
name while ago, it's Cindy Morgan, I'm at 819, and I moved there in 2004. And I hadn't lived there but a few months when he came in and dug up parts of the street because it was failing and broke up, and he poured patches of concrete that broke up worse than what it already was. And my driveway is starting to fail at the end. All the sidewalks are falling. The whole neighborhood's gonna look like crap, that's the bottom line. And I would never have built a house there if I would have known that I was moving here from Paris, Missouri, and it looked like it was gonna be a nice neighborhood, and the realtor told me it was, and it's been nothing but embarrassment ever since, and I would probably like to sell it at this point, just to get out.
But you couldn't get what normally a person could get with a good road.
No, it'll be a big loss because the road's trashed. I wouldn't look at a house there. I just think Larry shouldn't be able to get by with it.
Was it built that?
Yeah.
Marsh, no.
I think he knew that it was bad. I mean, I really do think he knew it was bad, and he got out of it as soon as he could, and the city took it over.
And then his lots didn't sell for the longest time. He's got one sold, I think. Those just sat there
So,
and grow weeds and snakes.
so you all can't make him come back and do anything at this point?
I don't know whether I'm.
Yeah, I don't know, we're gonna have to look into it a little bit deeper and, find out what recourse the city has or what, you know.
It, waiting 13 years is not the best strategy.
Right.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
Well, this isn't the first time it's been brought up though either. I've been talking to Lynn Barron for several years.
Yeah.
So did I, was he before you?
Yeah.
Yes, he's been out to my house and looked at it, and
And he's not an easy character to talk with, you know. He really
he
isn't.
told me
He's
I
not-
shouldn't have bought there, I should have bought where he bought across town. He said, I knew this wasn't gonna be very good. I said, well, I said, that's great.
Yeah. She told me that before I bought it.
Yeah.
The city has, we have, the resources we have, we've not spent them to do detailed inspections of streets. The most recent street we had put in, we did a very small amount of testing on the street. And I guess what we can do going forward is to make a stronger policy and develop better standards for streets, which will cost developers more money. And the cost will be passed on to the homeowners. In your case, I'll talk to Merritt, I'll talk to some other city managers and see what is possible. You're right. The street should be in better shape. City should not accept streets that are substandard. It's easy to see the problems now. How easy it was to see the problems in 2003 when it was built, I don't want to take a guess because I don't want to second guess people when I wasn't here. I don't think that's fair, and I don't know what I can do any better.
Actually, he went so far with the street and built houses, and then when we bought the lot and started having our house built, then he extended the street, but we've been there about 11 and a half years.
Mm-hmm.
So it hadn't been 13 on our half, and that's
Yeah.
that's the worst half. So I think he used cheap concrete or hot loads. I'm not sure what he put in there, but
We
it
don't know.
probably wasn't enough bag mix
And
on it.
I'm naive, I just assumed that if someone was building a road to build a house by it, that somebody would approve it and it would be safe and it would be good. That was mine.
And that should
This
be.
is,
99% of the time, that's a safe assumption.
The city should have inspected it
Right.
and done it. But it was not a standard practice at the city at that time. And, you know, we're now caught. I'm not sure what we can do about it. I would certainly like to sue the developer for it because I think he should be sued.
I do too.
You said at that time it wasn't like a code or anything on that?
No, there were standards that were in place, but the city did not check the standards. The city did not go out there and verify that they were being built to the proper standards. It was up to the developer to meet the standards.
So there was
Most of the
no,
developers did meet the standards. They didn't have any problem with meeting the standards. This developer chose not to.
You check as they pour, you check the depth to make sure they're getting the full 6 inches. You take a sample of the concrete, make sure the concrete's made properly. You check the depth of the saw cuts. You measure the grade. You have your own engineer test their engineer, make sure that they've shot the grade properly and then it's poured properly. And if they don't do it, if somebody doesn't meet the standards precisely, you ask them to remove it, which is of substantial cost. And sometimes it's hard to go up to somebody and say, you made a mistake, tear this all out and lose money. Not everyone's willing to go and ask somebody to tear out their mistakes and start over again. But and the city didn't do that, and that's it's because if we ask somebody to fix a mistake, we're gonna make somebody very upset, and that's not the easiest thing to do. I'm not saying it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it, but we haven't in the past done all those steps that we should do, and I think we'll probably do it more in the future, but that doesn't do you guys one bit.
Well, isn't the base supposed to be up to a certain standard too?
Yep, some grade, there's supposed to be a compaction test, and there's a bunch of different tests. And in small communities, it's not uncommon to kind of trust the developer to do, just like you did, to trust them to do the job right, because most of them do it.
Well, I mean, I can tell you that I've been involved in more than a few subdivisions in this town already, and the ones that I've been involved in were built to standards. Partially because I made sure that the grades and everything was done properly. Partially because we knew that we had good contractors in there, that I wasn't worried about not doing it properly.
I wish you'd been out there when Larry was doing his.
He chose not, he talked to me about doing that survey, and he found somebody cheaper.
I'm sure.
And he did not get, and then I don't think he bothered to follow his engineer's recommendations either.
Well, that really kind of upsets me when I found out they hit the gas line. Couldn't there have been an explosion?
Generally not. Gas lines get hit all the time. Generally they don't.
And they're not
But they
done
do
yet,
turn them off.
So there could be more.
Oh, yeah. But now, the city doesn't have anything to do with putting in the gas lines, that's Ameren. And they do have their own standards. And why they weren't put into the depths of what they should have been, I don't know. It's possible that they were put in and told that this will be the final grade, and then the developer came along and changed the grades.
Well,
And that's not an unlikely assumption given the fact that things don't drain out there the way they're supposed to. He probably did not put anything into the proper grades.
Well, this sure devalues all our homes.
Yes, I have no doubt of that.
Eddie Pollock was the one that built my house. Mine's the only one he didn't build.
Well, I had him change a few things while he was building ours. I mean, you actually see, I was a bricklayer for years and years. I mean, you get an eye that for something with it laying like this, or so I'd walk into the house and
He went in with a level.
see these things, and I'd say, hey, this one might be changed, and this is not going to look like.
Right.
So he made a comment to Carol one day, something about, I better do this right, because Frank's probably looking over my shoulder or something.
That's good.
Yeah.
So why is this Chairman Ganoy, 23 South Central, why is he still building? He's building a house behind where I live,
His son is,
His
for
son.
yes.
his son.
Yeah.
His dad come from Helsing, though.
I'm sure he does.
I mean, why is he so?
Well, and he didn't do that one right either, because that was not put into the proper setbacks.
I know, see,
And then he came to the Board of Adjustment, and the Board of
Well, my
Adjustment felt
father
sorry for
also-
him and let him get by with it. I think he should have been required to tear it out,
Yeah.
because I don't think he met the standard of what was necessary to get a variance for it.
so why didn't he do it?
Well, a lot of the neighbors of the area came in and testified on his behalf.
Yeah.
Yes, well, he's a young guy and he made a mistake, but
Well, that's
hopefully
still on
he'll
him.
learn from that mistake.
But the odds, he learned from his father,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so,
That's our money he learned on, Carol. We're gonna pay for that too,
Just-
because the neighborhood's gonna look worse.
The city can look into what is possible at this point in terms of
That'd be good.
trying to get some sort of, I'm trying to come up with some sort of remuneration from the developer who did not do the street correctly. And my guess is that the length of time will make it difficult, but we are also right now discovering more flaws in the road than we knew before. So perhaps this is a time when we have a chance to take an action. But I'm not gonna make any promises, and I don't wanna give you any false hope. But I understand that your home is the most, you know, same with me, is the biggest single capital investment you have. And when you find out that somebody didn't do their job properly, and I understand, and I don't wanna, you know, and that includes us on this side, it doesn't make you feel any better. I just, you know, I don't wanna, but I don't think I would help you at all by telling you that there's a rainbow that's gonna make this all better right away. But we will look into seeing what we can do to repair the street as it is, and if there's any way to recover, to come up with funds to build the street to grade and proper.
That would be wonderful.
I can ask. I don't know how you are, I don't know if you go to the slot machines very often, but this is not as, you got a better chance of hitting 00, but I'll give it a shot.
Well, it's like, you keep saying time has passed,
Yeah.
but I've been going to Lynn Barron's several times, a few years prior to this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just in the first time we brought this to your attention.
Right.
And he would always come up there and just like, what do you want? I mean,
Well, we aren't here to.
it's hard,
No, it doesn't matter.
but it's like it wouldn't go anywhere. So the point is that I have been up here, pointing this out for the last several years.
Well, and he may have asked the same questions that I want to ask, so he may already know the answer, and it may be that, and that may be why. You know, I can't, I'm sure not going to speak for him.
Right.
No. That's not what we're here for.
And I know he did a lot of good stuff for the city, so
Mhm.
he always spent the money the best way he knew how. So
Yeah.
you know, that's the best I can say.
Yeah, well,
He just didn't care about our street.
well,
Yours is one of the hardest problems to solve.
I know.
Yeah.
You know, Larry Snell is to blame for our problem, there's no doubt about it,
Mhm.
and then you guys took it, so that's our problem.
We was wondering at the time why the city took it over, but when they did.
maybe we ought to get out there
Yeah, I
with
think that was-
jackhammers and start doing it.
It's gonna fall
That
a
was,
little bit.
before everybody on the board currently, that was before our time, so. What we
Yeah,
could do is
You were at 3M.
apologize for our predecessor, you know.
yeah,
And I'm sure that doesn't make you feel any better, but, yeah, but it's true, what he was saying is true.
Yeah.
Well,
well, we,
Well, you see what you can do.
We'll look into it and see
Tell us
what.
something and then we'll figure out what we can do from there.
We'll do that. We'll do
We
that.
appreciate that very much. And also appreciate the work that's already been done. I mean,
oh, yes.
It helps, that's for sure.
That's nice to hear, because I know
Yeah.
more Phil's out there and he's working hard. And
Yeah.
Yes, we appreciate it. We just want to see them out there almost every day.
At least we don't have to dodge all them big holes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll tell him how popular he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see us go in there and just rip the whole thing out
I
and do
would.
it. But we don't have the money to do that either.
Yeah.
That'd be a really rough summer, but it'd be a lot better next 10 years.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yes. We deserve it after putting up with 11 years of it. I mean, gosh. But,
How's your street, by the way, is it, or my street?
My street?
Mhm.
Well, there's some stormwater issues.
There is. Who put your street in?
Yeah.
that's all we wanted to talk about.
All right. Well, thank
Yeah,
you.
we appreciate it, and we know you're gonna do what you can do.
Okay.
Do you need to know the man's name that came from Ameren? I can get
I
that.
I don't think.
Probably Mike Hartfield.
No.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Oh, I just thought I'd mention it.
Yes.
No, that's good to
It
hear
should happen
that.
farther down the street.
Yeah.
There.
One more
We're,
thing, but between the patches, there's a section about 4 feet wide from the middle over about 4 feet that needs to come out too. From there onto the curb, it's not bad, but there's just a strip between this patch and this patch, that there's a 4-foot strip through there, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 feet long. That is terrible too.
Well, all of it, all the rest of it's terrible, so we already know that.
Well, we'll look into it and see what kind of
Okay.
solution we can come up
I
with.
think Landon, after mentioned that particular piece.
Yeah.
What's that?
That piece that you just talked about, I talked to him about it.
Oh, okay, good.
So, Thank
We
you for coming
appreciate
in.
Langdon too. He came out, do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he come and
Well,
talk to us.
And I've talked to Langdon about this, he and I are well aware of what's going on out there.
So
I'm not sure what we can do about it, but we are aware of the problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I think we better
All right.
point across it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
very
you
much.
all very much.
Who's the Andrea Paul rep? You?
Hi Russ, how you doing?
You too.
We all have problems, don't we? How you feeling?
From like Boonville.
Yeah, they're all from Boonville.
Yeah, I'm lucky. The Lord's given me such good health, so I want to help others.
Oh, yeah? Good luck. No, they were good guys. I really like them.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, we'll go with the comments from citizens, section. Any further comments from citizens? Okay, close that. Economic development report from the chamber. Got minutes of the board of directors meeting from June 9th in our packet. You know about how many cars there were at the car show this year?
About 300.
About 300. Awesome. Thanks. Seems to be getting bigger and bigger every year. Hmm?
My husband does it.
Yeah.
My wife enjoyed
Good. Any questions from the,
Did they, I think I saw this somewhere, but the net was about, do you remember, Don, what the net was this year? It was reported in the Guard,
37 or something like
I think 37, 34, something like that here.
I don't remember.
Is that the only number you've heard in the last
No,
that? Okay.
it was down from, some of our previous years, but, with the weather, I actually thought we did really well considering what the weather conditions were for this year.
That's what the
Yeah.
report, well, not the best ever, but pretty darn good considering everything else.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Never mind. The
Action agenda, finance, permits and license, nothing, right?
correct.
Okay, legal?
We have one ordinance, the
Boat races.
the boat race. The swimming club wants to hold a fundraiser, and the events which they wish to hold include a kayak race. City code specifically prohibits boat races. This is discussed at the General Government and Public Safety meeting, where the staff is directed to draft an ordinance to allow the races to be held. The ordinance drafted is general in nature and would require a separate motion after adopting the ordinance if the board chooses to do so. Basically, this gives, the event is covered by our insurance. It is run by, it has been approved specifically by the park board, and it is only with their stamp of approval and their understanding of the event that we would approve an event in the future. But this gives us sort of a template if we ever wanted to do such a thing again. I think Mr. Borman mentioned the possibility of concrete boat races, which is kind of an engineering,
Or cardboard.
or cardboard boat races like they have
Yeah.
MFA or something. So anyway, so yeah, it allows for us to do this again if certain conditions are met. And that would allow us to ensure that there was proper insurance and proper oversight. So if the board would choose, there's an ordinance drafted for your approval or approval.
Any further discussion, questions? Alderman Bagley, would you introduce this one, please?
Bill number?
2761.
That'd be, it's 2761, be reading by title, first time title only.
Second.
I got a motion and a second that bill number 2761 be given its first reading by title only. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Continue, please.
Bill to create an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend section 21-5 of the Centralia City Code to allow boats in the city park under certain conditions. Move that bill number 2761 be given its second reading by title only.
Second.
I have a motion and a second that bill number 2761 be given its second reading by title only. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Continue, please.
Bill to create an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend section 21-5 of the Centralia City Code to allow boats in the city park under certain conditions. Move that bill number 2761 be adopted by roll call vote.
Second. I have a motion and a second that bill number 2761 be adopted by a roll call vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call vote, please, Heather.
Alderman Lee.
Yes.
Alderman Magley.
Yes.
Alderman Borat. Yes. Alderman Borman.
Yes.
All right, by your vote, bill number 2761 passes, now becomes ordinance number
2817.
2817. All right, purchasing, nothing, good? Old business? Alderman have any old business? New business? I guess, Merrick wants me to reappoint Jenny Eppenshide to the library board. He's indicated that it's an appointment that needs to be made at a full council meeting, not a committee meeting, so that's the reason I'm doing that tonight. So, Jenny Eppenshide for the library board for a 3-year term.
I think the rationale is, of course, class city, it's best to follow protocol as close as possible. And since this is only the board can take action when it's meeting officially as the board, yada, 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 et cetera, it's just the safest path. And this gives you the opportunity, since the last time we appointed her a few weeks ago, to have considered her appointment, as you guys had asked for. So, catches 2 birds in one stone. It's the best I can offer.
Make a motion to approve the mayor's appointment of Jimmy Eppenshide to a 3-year term.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the mayor's appointment of Jenny Eppenshide to the library board for 3 years. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you very much. Okay. City administrator.
I don't know if I'm stealing the city clerk's thunder, but we will have at the full board meeting in July, we will have the auditors here. They're going through the audit, and I think this is something that I can say better than Heather. There are fewer journal entries. I think it's getting smoother every year, switching over to new software, et cetera, getting more. And I don't think I messed the process up too much. Heather's got it pretty smoothed out. And then the other thing is that I do now have a city address. So, finally. I'm still trying to sell a house in Fulton if you know anybody, but
All right.
Is there any aldermen over there might be interested in one?
I don't care what their politics are, but I just want them to buy the house.
All right. All right. We're listing the city attorney tonight.
You didn't leave me any notes.
Okay. Heather?
Nothing now.
I'm sorry, you want to?
All right. Closed meeting.
Yeah, it should take 5 minutes or so, an update.
Alderman Borat, would you read that, please?
So just read the during
Just
meeting.
make a motion.
Oh, make a motion to go into closed meeting.
Yeah.
During the meeting, the Board of Aldermen may elect to go into closed session and hold a closed vote. And the purpose of such closed session and closed vote shall be as provided under section 610.021 under revised statutes of Missouri for legal actions, causes of action, or litigation involving a public governmental body and any confidential or privileged communications between a public governmental body or its representatives and its attorneys.
Have a motion? Second. And a second, go into closed session. Roll call vote, please, Heather.
Alderman Borman.
Yes.
Alderman Lee.
Yes.
Alderman Magley.
Yes.
Alderman Borat.
Yes.
All right. Closed session. Tired of the office. Brooks.
No, I can show you.
5 minutes.
That's all right.
Thank you, sir.
Chief on vacation this week? Yeah. Yeah, this is about punishment for taking off from office. There are more creative punishments. Yeah, but he's on vacation, so he doesn't have time. Is he gonna be back tomorrow? He's a guy most of the week. I'll do that. Supposedly I'll be on vacation for a little bit starting tomorrow night sometime. What that means is kind of more working from home, I'm afraid. Yeah, just for the vacation, I'm working harder there than I am here.
next to nothing, but I will be hosting a family fish fry. Yeah, I'm gonna fish fry next one week. Some spoonbill. Good stuff. No, if the weather and everything else cooperates, I think I have enough in the freezer anyway, but I'll try to catch significant amounts of bass and crappie in this 72 hours or so. Wish I had that problem. No, you don't. Fishing? And it stops being as much fun when you got about 25 or so people that are expecting. Yeah, I knew you were doing it, just I went and got the spoonbill.
Went and got it about a month ago, took a couple days in down buddy's house, not even Beta. And out hit the river,
Good.
got an 85-pounder, more about 70 pounds.
I should have been doing more fishing, but Saturday afternoons are about my only opportunity. My dad takes more care than he used to. I don't know, there are ways around it. I just pull it off. But in theory, I will have brothers and sisters here tomorrow or Wednesday. Let them man the fort now they got to the ponds.
Hit the river, get your spoon, call it a day. Feed a lot of people.
That's true.
Only need one.
What I meant to do this Saturday when I was briefly in Columbia at Sam's was to see if they still had bags of frog legs. That might come in handy. Got plenty of batters stashed away though.
I figured you picked up.
Yes, they did.
I think he picked up. All right.
But weren't some of those people that showed up?
Yes.
Now they know what kind of developer they had.
Well, and the thing about the, getting on us for not holding somebody to standard, put in the same position. Good.
All right. Any Alderman have any as may arise? We got one.
But we got to come back out of closed session. Or
We-
just, okay,
we did that.
that's back there.
So,
There were no decisions made, it was just an update.
yeah. I got a thank you card from Donna Baker, who was Rodney Griffin's wife. Says, Tim, it was a pleasure meeting you. I want to extend a heartfelt thanks for all you did in the planning and participating in the memorial service for Rodney. Thank you for your proclamation declaring that day for the city to remember and honor Rodney. I will forever hold in my heart that memory of the Centralia community's gracious outpouring of love and respect for Rodney. Respectfully, Donna Baker Griffin. So,
I too want to extend my thanks to the citizens of Centralia for honoring such a war hero.
And we had police, fire, electric department, and others
Yeah,
involved in working on that too, so.
right. It was a very, very good outpouring of respect from the community. I heard about it from my travels around the state regarding the, making the news and all that stuff was pretty spectacular. So, all right, that's all I have.
Motion to adjourn?
So,
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those